Yo, so we gotta talk about this shit right now, right now, right now. Oh, son, what is up, guys? It is your favorite Taka Lotus here today, and welcome back to the Nerd Corner. And in today's video, I have my review for episode 6 of Orange Letter 6. And I know I've said this for like the past 2 or 3 weeks in a row, but this is my new favorite episode. This show just keeps getting better and better and better with each episode, especially with these last 3. And right now, this is at the pinnacle for me. And I wouldn't be surprised if next week's episode is even better, because I'm gonna keep it 100. When this series started out, I didn't think it was anything special, but of course, you got to give a series time for things to, get in motion, for things to get the ball rolling. So that's what I was doing, and I'm glad I started watching the series because it had so much hype given the manga's popularity like in the last few months, and I didn't know what really to expect from it. And most of the times, when a series is really hyped up, it just doesn't live up to expectation. But this series is really getting to me, man, and it's getting better and better. And this episode, episode starts out with Naho and Kakeru. They're still by the pool, the whole festival is going on or whatever, and my man Kakeru like, yo, you supposed to be ice cold, no mistakes, smoother than silk, playboy Mac Daddy, stunner man 100,000, and he gonna hit Naho with the 10-year-old by the slide on the playground in elementary school question, talking about, hey, if like me and Suwa and Hagita were like to ask you out, who would you want it to be the most? And I'm like, really, nigga? Or really, bruh? I thought I've been praising you, comparing yourself to me, and you gonna pull this out on me? You gonna hit her with a question from the playground, homie? And then, she doesn't really answer it because she's embarrassed. Naho doesn't say it. And I, at this point, I'm like, you two can't be this stupid. You two can't be this oblivious to each other's feelings. Not at this point. I think it's been made abundantly clear by now. It's been hinted and implied more than enough, you guys, to figure out that you like each other. But I guess not. Besides, if things got rolling, that quickly with their relationship, I guess there'd be, lacking in story later on. So they gotta drag it out a little bit. But still. And anyway, Naho's friends, Azu and Taka-chan, they roll in and like, well, what about you, Kakeru? Who would you pick if, the three of us were to ask you out or whatever? Like, who? And then he doesn't answer, and I'm like, it's obvious, but okay, whatever. We're just all going to pretend that we don't know who likes who. That's cool and all. And then, Suwa, he's talking to Kakeru, and he's like, you should have told her, bro. And I'm just like, Suwa, you that nigga, bro. He is the realest of real niggas. Like, Suwa is the bro that you want. He's the bro that you need. He is the best boy. Like, Suwa is a ride or die homie. Like, he is there for you. He's got your back. If you need a wingman or a rider, Suwa has got you. But yeah, this episode, it just keeps getting better and better as it goes along. We see everybody having fun at the festival, and of course, as things are progressing along, everybody finds a way to kind of leave Naho and Kakeru alone together, and they decide that they want to watch the fireworks together by the pool. I believe Kakeru asked Naho, and she's like, by the pool sounds nice, and he's like, yep, you know what, I was kind of thinking the same thing. But then we see Ueda Senpai's salty ass. Ueda Senpai is salty as hell, bruh. Like, she's sitting there sucking her teeth like, this bitch. Well, she doesn't say this bitch, but she's basically got that attitude like, this bitch. And I'm looking at Ueda like, this bitch. But Ueda Senpai, she wins like the I forget what it's called, but basically like the beauty pageant popularity contest thingamajig. She comes in first place, and she plays it off as if she's all sweet and innocent and she didn't expect it, even though she was probably thinking in her mind that it's guaranteed that she'd come in first, because she's probably thinking, can't nobody compare to me, even though, as I said last week, I think Naho is cuter than Ueda, but whatever. And then we see Hagita comes in dead last, but he actually gets 1 vote, and it was from I still don't know which girl is which. I believe it was Azu, the one that's like always flirting with her and flirting with him rather, and says that he's hot without his glasses, and they're teasing each other and being flirtatious, whatever. And then Taka and Suwa are just like, they should totally just go out already, and they're just like, yeah, they should. But Ueda, being the salty snake that she is, right, she kind of tricks Naho, well, forces her really to like take these boxes to this classroom so that she doesn't get to see the fireworks, and so that Ueda can go and find Kakeru and watch him with him. I don't know what was going through her mind to make her think that Kakeru was going to sit there and watch the fireworks with him if Naho didn't show up. Maybe he would have, because he's seemingly a passive and kind guy, but I don't know. I think after that whole little scandal they had a few episodes back where like she spazzed in the hallway, he probably would be like, nah, shawty, I don't even rock with you like that. You got to be out. Either he would have told her to bounce, or he would have bounced. bounced and he would have went looking for Naho. Plus it would have been suspicious. I think I don't know, because he's been oblivious thus far, but I would like to think that he'd have been, you know, thoughtful enough to realize, hold on, Naho's not here, and Ueda suddenly shows up. She knew I was here. Something suspicious about that, and hopefully he'd have went and looked for Naho. But even that being aside, that's unnecessary speculation, because Taka and Azu, they find Naho as she's carrying these boxes while the fireworks are going on. And I just want to say that all the music going on during all these fireworks scenes, it was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. You guys already know how I am about this music in this series, well, music in general, but like the music was really, really good for like minutes like 3 to 12, somewhere around that time frame. I really enjoyed the music. Anyway, Naho, she gives the boxes to her friends. She dashes off at the speed of light, and she goes to find Kakeru by the pool. I was thinking, because the fireworks were going on like the entire time, like during all these scenes where everyone was talking, you could see the lights flashing, you could hear it. And when she finally got to the pool, like all of that stopped. So I was under the impression that the fireworks stopped. And she was like, she's like, sorry, I'm late. And Kakeru's like, I thought you weren't gonna show up. Like he was hopeful that she was, and he was still waiting there for her. And she was like, I wouldn't miss it for the world. And then I said to myself, like, but you did miss it. Like the fire, they stopped. It's done. You missed it. But they started back up again, much to my surprise and their surprise as well. I guess they also thought that they ended, but they hadn't. So they had this really, you know, heartwarming, touching, romantic scene where they're watching the fireworks together. Kakeru asks Naho about her hand, which was kind of a smooth move, an excuse to like grab her hand, and then they start holding hands, and then they both admit to each other, you know, who they would have wanted to have picked to ask them out. Basically, they both admit that out of the 3 of their friends from each respective side, they would want each other. And I'm like, okay, so I figured that this was the turning point in the relationship. Like they basically just admitted their feelings for each other and that they're about to be a couple. I mean, they just both said that they would want to go out with each other. They're holding hands and they're watching the fireworks. So I'm thinking like, okay, we got the ball rolling. Things is about to kick off. They're about to be a couple. But nah, because as we proceed and we see them going in the festival, Naho's got her hair all done up. She's wearing her kimono, and then Kakeru's got his, you know, his guy kimono on. And there's a scene where like they're buying some sort of treat. I forget what it was. It might have been cotton candy or takoyaki or something, you know, at these festivals. And the guy working the booth is like, and you need one for your boyfriend too. And she's like, huh, what boyfriend? No, we're not a couple. Your Kakeru's like, yeah, no, we're not a couple. And I'm like, what? But what about the fireworks? Just y'all just what in the hands? And I don't understand. Why are you not a couple? Y'all both just said clearly the feelings are there. Like I don't know how much further. I don't know what else needs to be said except like, hey, I'd love to screw your brains out. Would you please be my girlfriend? Like I don't know if it has to be that blatant and straightforward for them to get the point across and to realize that they should just start dating. I understand you kind of got to take it slow, but I don't know. If it was me in that situation that had went down with the fireworks and the holding hands, like that'd sealed the deal for me. I'd have been like, so yo, we gonna hook up or what? Like is we a thing now or nah? Because if not, you know, I got other things to do. You know, I ain't gonna put my time and effort into this if it's not gonna work out. Like, you know, take your time, but time is ticking. But that's just me. We also had a flash forward into the future as well, you know, the 10 years later, and we see Naho and all her friends. They're at Kakeru's grandmother's house, and she does reveal to them that he did indeed commit suicide, that he purposely rode his bike out into the street and got hit by a speeding truck, and that's actually how he died. She even shows everybody the final note that he wrote, which basically said, I'm sorry for everything that I've put you through thus far, grandmother, and I'm going to see mom and to tell her I'm sorry. So he basically said that he wants to go apologize to his mom in the afterlife, and that's pretty sad. I mean, we all knew that he committed suicide or that he was dying in some way, form, or fashion at some point or another, but it's just it just really makes you think, like, how low did he really go? Because even now, if he is this depressed where he's on the verge of committing suicide, and like his only saving grace and like his only silver lining is Naho and his friends at school right now, he's doing a pretty good job of like putting on this front of, you know, being happy-go-lucky and not taking it so hard about his mom. We'll get into that a little bit more later, you know, with the scene with Naho, but you know, he's putting up a pretty good front, you know, as I think most people would try to do, because, you know, you don't want to go around with, like, you know, this being depressed and morose and just wearing your heart on your sleeve. But it's like, damn, no one really would have expected that he would have committed suicide over this. Like, no one realized that, like, his mother's death impacted him this much and was weighing this heavily on him, and that he was bearing all these burdens and regrets on his shoulders. So it was just, yeah, it was just really touching, and it was just really sad to hear and find out. And then as the story progresses even more, we see Naho really trying her best, because the letter has told her that what she needs to do is ask Kakeru about his mother. And she's kind of pushy about it, but understandably so. Like, she has to be, because he didn't really open up about it, because they were at some sort of shrine or whatever, something of the like, and they both made a wish, a prayer to God, apparently. And Naho says that she wished for Kakeru to be happy, and he's like, really? Me? Okay, thanks. And when she asked him, what did he wish for, he says that he sent a message to his mother, but he doesn't say what. He's like, it's a secret. But she persists, because the letter told her to ask about his mother. She needs information about her mother. It's crucial, because it relates to his death, and she needs to do everything in her power to save him, help him ease the burden off of his shoulders, and help ease some of his regret, take some of the pain away from it as best as she can. So she keeps on persisting, and he's like, I apologize to her. Like, he eventually opens up, and they both start crying, and it's like this very emotional scene, and he's like, I really wanted to tell her that I'm sorry. And then we find out that she committed suicide because he said that he couldn't show up to the hospital like he had promised, because she's very unstable. She was very unstable psychologically, and she was obviously very unhealthy and sickly physically, and she was being transferred to a new hospital on the first day of school. And remember, back in the first episode, the letter told Naho not to invite Kakeru that day. It was like, this is the one day that I don't want you to invite Kakeru, seriously. And apparently, because Kakeru didn't go with his mother to the new hospital that day, he actually went with Naho and all her friends, and they, walked home together. His mother committed suicide, and so he feels like it's his fault, and he's been bearing this regret and this burden, and he's just been, bottling up all those emotions and regrets, and just trying to hold it all in instead of letting it out, and just been keeping it to himself, which is very unhealthy mentally, and can lead to, physical unhealth, or not unhealth, that's not really a word, but, physical distress that will start showing up because of the mental distress, and it's just been weighing on him, and just, taking its toll, as I said. But, after, revealing all this information to Naho, Kakeru's like, can you just give me a moment alone? They're sitting by these benches, or on these benches, kind of like in a side street somewhere, kind of like a path through a forest of trees. And he goes like a couple of benches down, and he's sitting by himself, kind of slumped over, just, thinking it over, mulling his thoughts to himself. And Naho's just thinking like, I don't know what I can do to save him. Like, I really want to help him. I just don't know what to do. And Azu and Taka, they show up, and they're like, hey Naho, how's it going, how's everything, did you guys enjoy your date? And Naho, she does her best to, like, wipe her face and play it cool, like, date, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I guess it did kind of look like to some people. And they're like, yeah, you don't look like you mind at all, girl. I see you doing your thing, shawty, you better get in on that. And they're like, so where's Kakeru? And she points to where Kakeru was just sitting. She's like, oh, he's right over there. And he's not there anymore. He disappeared. My man's was gone at the speed of light, rode like the wind up out of there. And he sends Naho a text that says, like, I'm going home early, thanks for the evening, I had a great time, yada yada yada. And he bounces. And then now we're about to get into my favorite part of this episode, which was the very end. Naho is at home, clutching her phone, crying. She's like, I don't know what to do. She's texting Kakeru like, are you okay? I'll be there for you, I'll support you if there's anything you want to talk about, if there's anything you need, I'll do everything I can to support you, to help you, just let me know if you want to talk about anything. And she's like, how do you even save somebody? And I'm just like, damn, now I kind of understand, like, all the pressure Naho was feeling, because admittedly in the last couple of episodes I kind of gave her some flack, and I was like, yo, it's not that hard, just do what the letter tells you. But this, like, the stakes have just definitely been raised, the difficulty has gotten higher, and it's like, yo, really, how do you save somebody? Like, how do you help somebody that's dealing with all this emotional distress? Like, you can't really just put yourself in somebody's shoes that's been through something like that, like your mother committing suicide and you feeling like you're at fault for that. It's like, what do you do in that situation? But then she goes outside, and Suwa's out there, and he's talking to her, and he's like, do you know what's going on with Kakeru? He hasn't really been showing up to practice lately. And she's like, really? He hasn't? And Suwa is talking to Naho, and Naho goes, I want to talk to you about Kakeru. And then she goes on to say, like, it might sound strange, you might not believe me, but, and then Suwa cuts her off, and he's like, don't worry, it's all gonna be okay. Did you get one too? And Naho's like, huh? And he's like, a letter. And I'm just like, oh my god. I was like, I for a second I froze, and then I got shivers, like literal chills, shivers, goosebumps on my arms. And I was just like, oh shit. Because I didn't see that coming. Like, I haven't really, been analyzing the series and trying to make predictions about what would happen next, aside from like the first 2 episodes. Like, I've just been enjoying it as it goes along. And now I'm just thinking, does anybody else have letters? And it's just making me think about, okay, so now how did this letter play into all of Suwa's actions, and is this the reason why he's been acting the way he has, and why he's been in the right place at the right time for certain situations, and what has he been doing in his power to make sure everything goes according to plan to save Kakeru, and helping him deal with like the loss of his mother and all. And I'm just, a million thoughts are going through my head. I'm just like, what literally came out of my mouth when he said a letter, I just was like, oh shit. Like, that was just like a bomb got dropped on me, because for me that's like the biggest reveal and the biggest surprise that we've had so far in the series, because everything else was like kind of a given, or kind of you could imply it, infer it. It was predictable, but I did not see this coming like at all. And that this episode was already really, really good for me, but that really set it over the edge. That it really set it off for me, and I was like, damn, that I cannot wait for next week. And I think I've rambled on enough already. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this episode. I wasn't even going to do this review because I haven't slept in like the past 24 plus hours. I've been up all night and all morning, and I was just really tired. I was just going to watch the episode and go to sleep, but it was just so good. And then that reveal at the end just got me so hyped. I had to talk about it. I had to get this review out. But definitely once this video gets posted, I'm crashing. I'm going to sleep. That's pretty much all I have for today, guys. That's everything I really wanted to talk about. Definitely know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today, so I will catch you all next time. Later.